Hello, welcome to my presentation. I am Emre Özcan from Middle East Technical University, and today I will be talking about energy systems, and specifically energy systems in living organisms. Energy conversion is a vital process in all living organisms, as all living organisms need energy, and we get this energy by converting energy from one side to another side. Here, we can see a plant and a baby, and I chose these examples because of the variety of chemical processes that occur in them. The, che- uh, the chemical processes might be common in both of them too, some chemical processes. And this is due to the fact that some chemical processes are essential for all living organisms. For example, glycolysis is one of them. All living creatures have to do glycolysis. Reactions that are also forming and breaking down ATP are common in all organisms, since ATP is the common molecule in which life energy is stored into. So we get our life energy from storing and breaking down phosphate bonds in ATP. The corn is a plant which does photosynthesis in order to pack the energy it needs into glucose. And the baby is a human. Therefore, it is an animal which does cellular respiration and fermentation to make ATP from glucose. Cellular respiration takes place in the plant too, but uh, the part where it differs in plants and animals is the form of the way we are getting glucose from. The plant uses the light energy to pack. The plant uses light energy to pack the light energy into the glucose molecule, while babies and humans and a lot of and animals have to eat food and get ATP into their systems to get glucose into their systems, which they cannot then convert to ATP. So there are many ways to convert energy to form ATP, and some examples, as we covered, are photosynthesis, cellular respiration, but there are also things called chemosynthesis and fermentation. They all exist and take place dependent on the abundance of the reactants molecules. And reactants in cellular respiration, as we know, are glucose and oxygen. Therefore, it can only take place in the abundance of these two molecules. In photosynthesis, the reactants are water, light, and carbon dioxide. So if the reactants of these two reactions are not abundant in the area of the living creature living there, it will refer to other reactions to carry out ATP synthesis, because it has to carry out ATP synthesis. For example, if a creature evolves in the abundance of H2S or H2 instead of H2O, or it evolved in the lack of light, it cannot carry out photosynthesis. It has to refer to chemosynthesis, since it doesn't have light around it, but it does have chemicals which it can use the chemical energy to form glucose. Or if a creature is evolved in a specific way, it can carry out fermentation in the lack of oxygen. Fermentation can either form lactic acid, which is the one our body forms when we're in need of urgent ATP and our breathing rate is inadequate for cellular respiration. And it is how bacteria make yogurt, or it can form ethyl alcohol, which we can utilize by making bread, wine, beer, etc. Photosynthesis is the process of converting light, carbon dioxide, and water into glucose and O2 as a side product. Organisms that carry out photosynthesis are plants, cyanobacteria, and blue-green algae. Parasitic plants may not carry out photosynthesis, since they steal another plant's glucose in order to carry out its way of finding ATP. An essential pigment necessary for photosynthesis is called chlorophyll. The color of the pigment is a distinct green, and green color on an organism usually indicates that it is photosynthesizing. In plants, the chlorophyll is found in the organelle chloroplast, but in cyanobacteria, since it's a prokaryotic bacteria, it doesn't have any organelles. Therefore, where is it going to store it? It carries the pigment on its cytoplasm. It doesn't have a chlorophyll. It's prokaryotic. It cannot have organelles that are advanced. And why is chlorophyll necessary? Because of the photosystems it carries it. Cellular respiration is a process common among many creatures because it is one of the best ways of utilizing the oxidizing effect of oxygen by using it to burn glucose on a controlled level. The chemical reaction is Glucose plus O2 forming ATP, H2O, and carbon dioxide with heat. Human body uses this to carry out its main functions, such as beating of hearts, uh, brain getting its energy, lungs getting their energy to respirate. And this is due to the fact that and human body utilizes this process as its ATP output is very high. It's extremely high. One of the main indicators of its heat output is the fact that human body starts sweating when undergoing heavy exercise. Since sweating is a process that cools the body down, if we're respirating on a cellular level very high, we're also producing heat, and we need to cool our body down. So, and also when cellular respiration is not enough in our body, human body starts doing fermentation. That's why we feel tired when we're exercising, as we're forming lactic acid by fermenting uh, glucose. And it is what makes us very tired after working out. And thank you for listening, and have a nice day.